Kawhi is disappointing because it's every postseason now. We haven't seen Kawhi compete in a postseason since fucking the Toronto Raptors. In fact, the only one he has competed in was the bubble, where they lost a 3-1 lead to Denver. All right? That's the last time we've seen him compete in a postseason. And now he's going to go play USA basketball. If I'm Steve Ballmer or Lawrence Frank, I'm like, what the is this, man? And we just extended you, bro. We're paying this guy $50 million a year, and he never plays. He never shows up to work, bro. And not only that, he's not a team player.
Yeah, he doesn't advocate for the Clippers or their brand or anything.
Bro, he doesn't help their brand at all. He doesn't talk about them. He doesn't advocate.
I've seen some New Balance commercials, though.
Yeah, it ain't got nothing to do with the Clippers. This guy doesn't play every postseason, Pausha. It's the same story. It's like no one even believes in the Clippers because we all know no matter how they play during the regular season, we're going to get the postseason, and one of those two are going down. It's either Paul or Kawhi. And most of the time, if we're going to go off of recent history, it's been Kawhi.
Yeah.
All right?
Because they went to the conference, their first ever conference finals, their only, with Paul George.
With Paul George as the helm. All right? So I'll give Paul that. But Kawhi is never out there. Is he the worst superstar in sports? I'm not saying that because I don't know enough about other sports. And by the way, like I like Kawhi as a player. I think he's a fantastic player. And that doesn't diminish the argument. Stephen A. Smith's not saying he's a fantastic player. He's saying because he's so fantastic of a player, he's the worst superstar of all time because the brother's box office when he plays, but he never fucking plays. It is frustrating. I'll be honest with you. If I'm a Clippers fan, I'm frustrated with that. And as a basketball fan, wanting to see like top level comp, it is frustrating not seeing Kawhi play at all ever in the postseason. Like the dude's never available, man.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
That 2019 title for him did a lot for him. It got him off the hook a lot.
It got him off the hook.
Pushing yourself out of the Spurs organization, no one ever did. Everyone was so happy to be there. You won a title with them. Finals MVP. Like that Spurs team too.
I don't think a lot of people are happy to be in San Antonio. That's not a fit for everybody. You guys wonder Rosen how much you like San Antonio.
He's the only guy that's ever like kind of pushed himself out though, right?
No, he did. He pushed himself out of there. People didn't know how they felt about that. Remember Pop and a lot of those guys had quotes saying, this guy quit on us or he didn't want to be here. Remember, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I think he was clear to play, but he just wouldn't.
He wouldn't play. Remember that whole thing? And Ginobili, he had like Tony Parker, like Hall of Famers, like, yo, I don't understand what this guy's doing. He could easily play, and he's like just quitting on us.
But then they've never met anyone like that, probably. Every year they brought in the Boris Diaz and the Patty Mills.
Get a little shot in the back, and they go play. You know what I mean? Like, it's a pause. But they go out there and figure it out. Kawhi, like, doesn't perform, doesn't play. And then they're like, what the fuck is this? Goes to Toronto, goes on a historic run that cemented him as HOF and like just his whole aura as a superstar. That cemented him there when he went and went on his own.
Yeah.
Ever since then, though, he's just been chilling. Just making money.
Your dad would probably still be the coach of the Clippers if...
Oh, I mean, listen, if Kawhi never had any injury problems or anything like that, my pops would still be in LA running around playing golf with Larry David.
Yeah.
In fact, he still is. But it is disappointing. I don't like calling him the worst in sports because
it's a strong title.
It's a strong title. And we just went on a whole rant about how the titles are just a little bit too strong.
Yeah.
Would I like to change the title and say Kawhi Leonard the past 5-6 years has been very disappointing in the postseason? Yes.
Because he hasn't played in it.
So now that's valid. Do I want to call him the worst superstar in sports? Like, bro, I don't want to do that. I get why Stephen A's saying this. He's like, bro, if you ain't going to play, at least market my team.
Right.
Like, if you ain't or do something for me. Like, if I'm the owner and I'm paying you $60 million, what the fuck are you doing for me, bro? And this ain't been 1 year. It's been like 5 years in a row, fam. Like, if I'm Steve Ballmer, I'm bringing Kawhi in the office. Like, hey, man, let me talk to you. I'm paying you like an obscene amount of money every year. When it comes to money time, you don't play. And now you're telling me in a month and a half, 2 months from now, you're going to go lace him up and play in the Olympics? The hell is going on?
Right. But like you said, he'll probably be unbelievable in the Olympics too. He'll probably go out there and shut some people down.
He would be great in the Olympics, but that's why it frustrates Stephen A. No one's questioning Kawhi's basketball talent. Again, I'm not with the title of the worst superstar in it. I'm not saying all that. But if we want to go most disappointing basketball star in the past 5-6 years, Kawhi Leonard is number one. There's no doubt about it.
Well, you're saying superstar, by the way. Which is only,
there's only like 8 of them.
Yeah, 5 to 10.
Whatever you want to call it. 5 to 10, you name it, right? He is one of them. He is a superstar, and he does not perform. Every other superstar, and when I say perform, I'm saying he's not out there to play. Because when he plays, he performs. He's unbelievable.
And that is
the issue.
That's the issue because we saw him. We have brought up those first 2 games against the Suns last year in the playoffs. He was on this pod 100 times.
Yeah, because Kevin Durant both games
because it was
he's
shocking.
a better player than him.
Yeah, it was shocking. Yeah,
and we were all like, "Whoa!" And then he didn't play the rest of the series and lost. We're just like, "What the hell just happened?" It's every postseason, dog. So too strong of a title, sure. Is there a lot of truth to what Stephen A. Smith's saying? Unfortunately, yes. I wish that wasn't the case. I want Kawhi to be playing 82 games and playing in the playoffs. He played a lot of games this year. Everyone's like,
there was a 2-month span where he was like 50, 40, 90 from the field.
Everyone's like, yo, it's working. Adam Silver's rule. Yeah. It's effective. Look at Kawhi playing. And then he goes to playoffs and doesn't play. It's just very frustrating.
Yeah.
But regardless of which, back to the topic, the West will be absolutely a gauntlet next year. I mean, we just named 10, 11 teams that are going to be really good or better than they were this year. Yeah. Whereas in the East...
And by the way, and Wemby is... We didn't even name the Spurs because they're not going to be there.
They're not there yet.
They're going to be there, but the team that's not going to be there is going to have the quote-unquote future of the NBA on their team. So even their bad teams still have something going on where they'll go into your house and win.
Yeah, I mean, you got... Like Houston was a team that didn't make the playoffs this year, but people didn't see like the second half of the regular season. Houston, remember when it made a huge run to make it interesting versus Golden State? And Jalen Green has blossomed into a player that we all thought he could be, is now doing that. So now you get him and Sengun back healthy and some of this other young core, and they'll rotate the vets. Like Jeff Green might not be there or might go somewhere else. Dylan Brooks or Van Fleet. Those are the guys you can replace. Yeah. They're all vets just there to help them win games and close games. But their young nucleus is there, Kim. What's his name?
Whitmore, yeah.
Freak athlete.
Eamon Thompson.
The Thompson twin. You got Green. You got Sengun. You're good. Nice
Ari Eason,
yeah. Nice. I don't know about all him. But he's not. I'm not putting him in that group. But they have a talented young core that you can build with. So the West is there. We're on the East. It's like you got Boston, who's going to be back next year. Philly will be better. Philly's going to be a fucking primetime team. Free agency is going to be huge this summer, by the way. I don't want to skip ahead and jump to that, but my God, with Paul George and Clay and some of these other guys, it's first off, if you're a guy hoping to get paid this summer, you're going to have to sit and wait. This first week is going to be brutal. You're going to have some guys just get paid out the gate, and the other guys are going to have to sit and wait for these dominoes to fall. Yeah. And they're big dominoes. So, Paul George not signing back with the Clippers. I mean, who knows? Paul George, unless it's a lifestyle thing, that's what we'll know. If he signs back with the Clippers, we know it's a lifestyle decision. Because I don't want to hear it's a basketball decision. Because that team ain't going nowhere. So, if Paul George wants to go back to the Clippers, then that is completely tells me it's a lifestyle choice. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. After all, you do have to live your life. So ain't nothing wrong with that. But like going to Philly or Miami or New York or some of these other teams would obviously be if he's trying to go compete and win now.
Well, any star from the West going to the East makes a lot of sense basketball-wise.
Yeah, just because, there's only
people are begging LeBron to just go to the East and just ride it back to the finals.
Bro, you'll go to the finals next year. Yeah. You got Boston ahead of you. I will say this. You got Boston. Philly is going to be a team. Next year, they're just going to. Joel Embiid's going to be healthy. Max is going to be healthy. They got valuable assets and they have cash. New York, we all know them fully healthy is going to be a team, let alone that they also have cash. Both of those teams will be really good. So you got those three. And then you got Milwaukee, who's not going to run back what they just had this year. They're going to have a full camp with Doc. They're going to have a full this. Everyone's going to be healthy. They're also going to add some role players to that bench, get some shooting, I'm sure.
Milwaukee's situation is easy because I think they can easily identify their issues. Very obvious issues that you could
very defensive shooting.
Yeah.
Done. So those teams, Milwaukee, Philly, Boston, New York, will be competitive. Outside of that, you got some young teams like Orlando in the mix. I'll put them at 5 because I like Orlando. Cleveland is a question mark depending on what Donovan Mitchell does. Miami's a question mark depending on what they do with Jimmy or if they're able to get anybody this summer.
By the way, you mentioned Orlando. They were the 5 seed this year. They're going to add a free agent to have money. Paolo and Franz are going to get better. Jalen Suggs really good. Did you see Jalen Suggs and Trae Young? This is all over Magic Twitter, so I'm going to let you know. They were working out together in Dallas, Trae Young and Jalen Suggs. Would you like that backcourt?
I wouldn't mind Trae Young in Orlando. You could put him with the Suggs because Suggs is such a good defender.
Yeah.
You could try to hide Trae every night. It doesn't matter what team Trae goes to. You're going to have to hide him on defense. So what difference does it make?
Well, Magic are built to do something like that, though.
Yeah, because they got a lot of defensive guys. They're long, they're tall, they're big, they're athletic. And they could use someone like him playmaking and making some plays. I like Trae Young. Trae could be good there. I would like Trae in San Antonio. I just don't think he fits that timeline. He's been in the NBA already quite a bit of years, and I think he really wants to compete.
I got one for you for San Antonio. Should they consider they have the 4th pick? should they consider drafting Reed Shepherd, who's been shooting up in the draft boards, as like their guard?
At this point, why not? Who else are you going to draft? They need a guard. They don't have any.
You like the Reed Shepherd Wemby kind of combination?
What other guard are you going to take? Or move the pick and try to get a good player.
Yeah.
If you can. I don't know how much draft stock these guys have. But Shepherd has shot up in the draft. If you're San Antonio, you have to draft a guard. You have to. You have zero.
Unless you can pluck like a Garland or one of these guys.
Unless you can get a Garland or a Trae Young or someone like that in the mix, then that'd be great. But in the case that doesn't happen, they need to draft Shepherd. Wemby needs help. He needs someone just to do a simple pick and roll with him and hit him when he's open. They don't have any point guards in that team. They don't have any shooting guards in that team. Right? They paid like Vessel $140 million. He's like an average player, dog.
Yeah.
No disrespect. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's a solid player. He's not a $140 million player. They had to pay him because they had to pay somebody. They don't have guards over there, man. The only player I'll give them is Kelvin. He's solid.
Keldon Johnson?
Yes. Johnson, what's his name? Kelvin. Right?
Keldon Johnson, yeah. He was coming off the bench for them in the second half of the season.
He's solid.
Yeah.
So it's like you got that. Outside of that, they don't, brother. No. Listen, we told them they're a long way away, man.
Yeah.